Today on Us Weekly's reality recap, we have a special edition, Love is Blind. We'll be recapping the next 3 episodes, from a shocking proposal to meeting the families and seeing the exes. Plus, Kwame and Micah defend their relationship.
You know, he's a great person, and in that way, he'll hold a special place in my heart.
While Paul and Chelsea reveal how they really feel about it.
I respected Kwame's journey and his vetting process, and he wanted to be really sure. And I have no hard feelings for her.
And we break down the next 3 episodes of season 4 of Love is Blind. We got that plus so much more on today's Us Weekly reality recap. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi with Us Weekly, executive producer Mandy DeCamp, and we got our next few episodes of Love is Blind, and I love this season so much.
It's so good. Like I said before, I think it's the best one yet.
It is.
Netflix, I hope they're already shooting season 5 because I'm ready for it.
I'm ready for it. Give it to me right now. And it seems like
Yeah.
you guys are loving it as well and have a lot of opinions so far. Jinde says Chelsea will get her heart broken. Irina and Micah are just yuck.
Yeah.
A lot of people had the same sentiments about Irina and Micah. They are just weren't very nice girls.
I have a lot to say about that later when we
Yep.
get them. Lily Flower says they are not mean girls. Interesting. They're mean grown women acting like mean girls, which is actually worse because they should know better at their age. Agreed.
Agree. Yeah. It's kind of hard to watch. And
It is.
Christy says Micah is just toying with Kwame, and I'm embarrassed for him that he doesn't recognize her motives. They're sketchy. She and Irina are terrible in general. Irina just wanted to snag a rich attorney husband and didn't care anything about Zach. I felt bad for him that she was so dismissive and mean. No one deserves that. Shame on them both for being immature and shallow, mean girls.
People really came after them. I mean, it's, got to be hard for them. And we'll get to that because Micah actually posted on Instagram last night about it. But we'll get to what she said. The only thing I disagree with your comment, Christy, is I don't think she wanted a rich attorney husband. I think she just wanted to be on the show more.
100%. Yeah, she was, as in Bachelor World would say, not here for the right reasons.
Definitely
She just
not.
wanted to be famous. And that was always my concern about this show going forward. Because once you get the first couple seasons in, people see how you can benefit from this show, and career, fame, everything. And it's probably really hard to vet who really is there for the right reasons. And maybe, I don't know, maybe for shock value, entertainment value, they let a couple of these people slip through the cracks. But it's definitely seemed like she was not there to get a husband.
Definitely not. 100%. I don't think she had one slight ounce in her that was like, oh, I'm going to marry Zach.
Right. Totally. All right. Well, like you said before, Micah did take to Instagram to apologize for her behavior. She wrote a small note. I have apologized to the people that were hurt on the show by my hands. I would like to apologize publicly. An emotional immaturity was shown and I will grow from it. She went on to address the viewers saying, I'm sorry I've triggered so many of you with my behavior. Seeing that person on the screen would make me feel the same anger. Now, she turned off her social media comments, said that she would restore them when she felt ready, saying, I am doing my best to protect my mental health, deserved or not. It has always been something I've struggled with, and I know I cannot better myself if I'm more unwell mentally. I hope you understand that I'm taking accountability privately. I promise to do better in the future. At least, I don't know. It feels like a little too late. I mean, that you're being a terrible human being while you're in the pods.
Like our viewer comment said earlier, they're not young girls.
Yeah.
They're not 20 years old. They are a bit older. You should know better. Cameras are rolling at all times. You signed up for this, And yes, I feel bad for anyone that gets attacked on social media. 100% get that. But you have to hold yourself accountable for what you did. And I guess that this is her holding herself accountable. She literally says that. I'm taking accountability. But I don't know. Like you said, a little too late for me.
Yeah.
You said what you said. You did what you did. Although I think Irina was worse than Micah. So.
Oh, I think so too. And interesting at the time that we're filming this, Irina still has not said anything publicly about how she was acting. Yes, she said it in maybe a couple of interviews and things like that, but she has not taken accountability. And it doesn't seem, even when we get to the episodes and she's having that conversation with Micah about what she did with Paul, there's no remorse on her face. She doesn't care. This is her time to shine. So I'm not here for it.
Me neither. All right. Well, Love is Blind season 4 stars sent their support to Kwame after he received racist messages in response to his appearance on the show. He shared with fans that he was called the N-word by a social media user, which of course is just completely unacceptable and horrible. And like we said, no one deserves some of these comments definitely don't deserve comments like that. You're welcome to have an opinion on their actions on the show, but like calling names, that makes you way worse than anything you're watching. So
Right.
He said, you're all entitled to your own opinion and reflection on the show, but waking up to multiple messages like this is not okay. Things like this are inhumane and we've got to do better. The sales development manager continued, you are getting to watch a sliver of my life and judge me based off the purely disgusting and hateful words I'm seeing. It could be an issue with me, but it's also definitely an issue with you. Micah, totally true. Micah was one of the cast members to speak out against the racist derogatory messages he received, doubling down on her ex's comments. She wrote, thank you all for the overwhelming positive support. However, threats, insults, bigotry, and just vile comments are entirely inappropriate. Zach also took to Instagram and said, please send some love to the men and women of color on our show. You never know what someone is going through. Bliss also said, as a part Black woman who also experienced racism, I am sickened to my core to see this. There's no space for racism. Retire those ignorant old ways of thinking. Being kind is free. Yeah, I mean, these comments are crazy.
It is. It's so crazy to me that people still feel the need to like take social media and like hate on people for, they're here to like putting their lives on the line and, being vulnerable on screen and finding love. And if you don't like something, I don't understand why the hateful comments. It's not like this person did anything to you. Why go out of your way to pull somebody down? I just never can understand it.
I don't get it.
At all.
You're welcome to your opinion on, do you think he and Chelsea should be together?
Right.
They're really in love. Do you think they're meant to be? Do you think he's still with Micah? Whatever.
Yes.
You have those comments, but it doesn't have to get mean and hateful.
No, it doesn't. Hopefully, you always worry about these people because they're thrust into the spotlight from being unknown people, kind of going about their everyday lives. And then all of a sudden their lives take a complete 180 and people are following their every moves. You have to worry about their mental health every now and then too.
Yeah.
It's got to be a lot.
And it's different than other reality shows. Like Vanderpump Rules, you either watch it or you don't. You've watched it for years or you don't watch it. But this has been gradual for them, This is literally overnight because people binge it,
Right.
So, like I actually followed some of them before the show came out just because I was curious, and most of them had like 500 to 600 followers. If you look now, they have thousands.
Thousands, yeah.
Thousands, some of them. And it's like, whoa, that's a drastic change.
It's gotta be a lot. So hopefully they're all doing all right. Well, speaking about mental health and things like that, Jackie actually spoke about her kind of breakdown while she was in Mexico with her fiance Marshall, telling Entertainment Weekly that her father is actually really sick with cancer and she takes care of him because he can no longer work. And she explained at the time her brother was also being released from prison, so she was going to have to take care of him. She said, my life is not for someone who can't be up to par in supporting me, and just making sure that you understand my life and knowing that this is always going to be part of me. That was an emotional moment for me because I didn't feel like at that moment Marshall was up to par and ready for all of the reality that I have back at home. This relationship just seems really doomed to me.
Yeah, we'll get to that and what happens with them in the next few episodes. But I mean, my question is, why couldn't she bring up at least some of this on the show instead of just, I mean, are producers telling her not to? Because I hope they're not, because we sign up for this show. I mean, we watch this show because we want to see real moments play out. But when you're seeing a real moment play out and you have no idea what's going on, what she's talking about, like I think I said last week, like, did she have an ex back home? Like, what don't we know? Why didn't she talk about it?
Right. She seemed really closed off. And he is even like, kind of give me more. I can help you. I'm here to help you. But, she just did not want to do that. And I mean, essentially, I guess this person kind of is like a stranger and you're like, all right, I'm, getting real with you in my vulnerable moments, but I don't know. That's the name of the game, I guess.
Yeah. At least like some of it, reveal some of it. Like, you don't have to say the whole thing, but anyway, Moving on. All right, let's break down these episodes. And like we were talking about before, Micah and Irina came face to face after she admitted that she was attracted to Paul. Irina was touching him in the pool. Micah stuck up for her. Irina apologized, but like I said before, this was not a genuine apology at all. Not at all. This whole situation was so bizarre. And we see Micah already regretting her friendship with Irina. Although later she tells us that she,
that she's a great person. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know with these two girls. All I know is I don't think I'd be friends with them in real life.
No, definitely not. I wonder, I wonder. I mean, like she said that they're still friends, that she's a great person. But now that I guess maybe watching it back, or maybe, getting all this social media hate, maybe things have changed. Because when I spoke to the cast, they had not seen the show yet. So I wonder what their perception of everything has changed since they've watched it.
Yeah, I'm super curious. I always wonder, especially with Love is Blind, because there's other people we never even really see.
Yes.
Like the people who don't make connections with other people. So maybe when you're in the moment, you don't realize that oh, they're going to be showing me on the couch with Irina talking shit about everyone. I don't know. I mean, maybe they didn't think these moments would blow up so much, but it happened.
You're probably right, because I don't even know how many people are in the pods, like 15 guys, 15 girls. Like, I have no idea. Like, right. There's a lot. They're filming all the time. So you're right. They probably weren't aware of how much this was really going to be on the show.
I also wonder about the people who aren't on it at all. If they told all their friends and family, watch me on Love is Blind, and then we don't see them ever.
Don't see them ever. So funny. They're back in Seattle. They're meeting families, kind of living together now, getting, going into everyday life. And it seems like Chelsea's dad loves Kwame. Paul's mom loves Micah. And it seems like these families are kind of really welcoming to this really unconventional, weird situation.
Yeah. Paul's mom just looks like an older version of Micah to me.
She totally does.
Kind of acts like her. That was kind of funny. Yeah. And Chelsea's dad, I guess it was a big surprise to Chelsea that he loved Kwame. So.
Right. Yeah. Paul, Micah's family was a little bit like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
why are we doing this? But for the most part, so far, everybody seems to be okay with this.
Yeah. Shocking.
Shocking. The most shocking probably part about these last few episodes, Bliss and Zach. Who would have thought?
Happily ever after, I guess, or we'll see. But yeah, so far, I mean, would you say yes to that proposal?
I don't know. I feel like it was so, I mean, yes, they knew each other in the pods and things like that, but it just feels okay, we're filming this TV show. Let's get engaged. Let's rush into this. We're going to, I don't know. Maybe it was pressure from producers. I have no idea.
I feel like if she said no, they're off the show.
Right, that's true.
We don't see them anymore. Maybe we get an update from them at the reunion. So it's you have to kind of say do we want to stay on the show? Mm-hmm. Try to make it work. I guess worst case, you break up later. But,
that's true.
I don't think I would have said yes. I think my pride would have been too
right. Be like, well, you didn't pick me first. So what makes you think that it's going to work now? Yeah. I just, I don't know. This was surprising to me. I really, because I got the vibe from her that she just kind of wasn't feeling it and really wasn't 100% on board. Maybe that's just how she is. But I really thought when she said yes, I was like, oh, okay. All right. This was surprising to me.
Yeah. We'll see where this one goes. I don't know.
Yeah. But going back to family, Kwame is having a lot of issues with his mom. She is not on board with this one at all. She doesn't even want to meet her, doesn't really want to even take his phone calls. And I feel really bad for him because he seems to be really close with his mom.
Yeah. We get one or two couples like this every season where you just never really get to see their family side. And it's sad because you want to see the full picture. And especially if you're marrying this guy or plan to marry this guy. Mm-hmm. You're not even going to have a phone conversation with his mom. It just feels like something, I don't know if I would go forward with that.
No, I don't I don't know if I'd be able to stand up there on wedding day without my family's support. And, it just seems like it would have to be something that had to happen at a later date. But I don't know. You got to be crazy to go on these shows anyway, right?
Do you think your parents would be on board with the show? Do you think that they'd purchase?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
What is wrong with you?
I always think that my dad would. I actually tried to get my dad to watch episode 1 of this because I was home at the time when I was watching it. He was horrified by the whole thing. He absolutely hated it. I was like, but Dad, just give it a chance. And then no, it was maybe 20 minutes in. He was like, I got to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my dad has never even heard of Love is Blind. Probably has never even watched The Bachelor or anything like that either. Yeah, no. Not into it at all. Then Shelby, Micah's friend, hates Paul. Talking about very I don't know, opinionated friends, I guess. She like really let it all out there.
Yeah, she gave Paul a total roast. I thought it was inappropriate. I didn't really understand it. I was like, you've met him for literally 2 seconds. How could you hate him this much?
Right. And it's not like he said anything that was offensive. I mean, later on, he was like, I don't really care what you say, but if somebody treated me like that, I would probably say the same thing. It was strange.
And then like Micah sort of defended, like got mad at him.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was odd. I almost would have been like, you have no right to say that to her. But she kind of got mad at Paul about it.
Yeah, the whole dynamic was real weird. It was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then speaking of uncomfortable, Marshall leaving after he and Jackie get into a fight. I don't know if that was probably the best way to go about handling something, like leaving for 3 days after you guys get into an argument. That's probably not the best thing to do, but I don't know.
I think they both kind of knew this wasn't going to work out pretty early on. I don't know if something happened behind closed doors or without cameras, but it seemed, or maybe just all the stuff happening at home that we now know about. But I just feel like they both knew this isn't.
Yeah, I don't think that this is going to definitely work. They're not going to find their forever love in this one. So we'll have to wait and see if they do end up breaking up or not, because Josh comes in at the end. I totally forgot about Josh.
I was like, who is he?
Right. I was like, who is this guy dressed as The Rock in 1980s with his turtleneck, a jean jacket, and like his fanny pack?
So bad. I did not. I was like, who does that remind me of? Thank you. It was The Rock.
Like, who is this guy? But like, he was like, I'm going to tell her that I'm still really like her. I don't care about Marshall. Like, okay, you came in here with an agenda.
Yeah, that guy seemed off his hinges. But then again, so does Jackie sometimes. So maybe they're a match made in Love is Blind heaven.
We're going to have to wait and see if anything comes of this conversation, or if she even talks to Marshall about it. It's so crazy. And then Kwame and Micah having that conversation at Chelsea's birthday party, like, and, you know, saying that she still has a special place in his heart. And Micah asking if, like, you know, he's really serious about Chelsea and he can't really give an answer. I'm like, do the two of you like still really like each other? I'm confused. Well, obviously they still like each other, but like, are we going to see breakups and they get back together? I don't know.
It's all kind of cringy. I mean, I would not be comfortable with my boyfriend or girlfriend having those conversations at my birthday party. So I can't imagine when Chelsea, if she ends up with Kwame, if she watches this back, that she's going to be okay with these conversations that they have.
Totally. Well, my quote of the night went to Kwame saying, and Paul saying, Micah has a special place in my heart. She will always. I'm like, ooh, that's a big statement.
Big statement. I mean, a girl that you met once in the pods, like will always have a place in your heart.
Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of strange.
Yeah.
All right. My quote of the night goes to Micah, because I thought this was a little bit foreshadowing what's to come with her and the trolls coming after her. So she said, she was talking to one of the other girls all the time, but she said that she had a conversation where she said, Irina, at some point you have to look at the situation and be like, when there are 15, 30 people who all feel the same way about you, at some point you realize maybe it's you, not them. And I feel like she could be speaking about herself too, Yeah.
No, 100%. Totally. I'm sure this was definitely an eye-opening experience for her. Well, if you guys want to know how Kwame, Micah, Chelsea, and Paul feel about this whole love square type of thing, we talked to them about it. We talked to Kwame and Micah about that intense conversation and if they still hold a special place in each other's heart. Take a look. Kwame, you said that during the season, you said that Micah still had a special place in your heart and that you cared about her a lot. Did that ever cause any issues with Chelsea watching this back at all?
Well, so we haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, I think no matter what, especially when you start looking at the life that you have now, and I just feel like, good God, I'm going to be answering this question until this show is over. But, when you think about the connection I have with Chelsea, Zach mentions this a lot, in like the pod relationship you have with someone is completely different from the actual relationship you have with someone, right? Like when I went past the pods with Chelsea, I knew, I was just like, okay, this is just, it's almost a reflex for us. The way we interact, the way we understand each other, right? And I just don't believe that would have ever been the case with Micah. And I can respect that. I think we had a great relationship in the pods. And that's what I mean. She has a special place in my heart from that part of our experience. But I knew deep down in my soul that there was just like, there was no possibility of us going past that and having anything that was actually of value to us as people, as human beings, as people who are in love. Like, we had a great time in the pods. It was great to move on from there.
Yeah. Does Kwame still hold a special place in your heart? You know, watching it back, the two of you had some really obviously intense conversations in the pods, but even afterwards, the two of you still had that kind of connection. Was that going to be hard for you to watch back? Do you think it's going to be hard for Chelsea to watch back? And how do you still feel about him now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a little difficult to watch. When I chose Paul all the way, and I never regretted that or looked back on it. I think that Kwame and Chelsea ended up together for a reason. And, to my understanding, I think they're really happy, and I think they both deserve that. He's a great person, and in that way, he'll hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they had that connection in the pods, and, they still hold a special place in one another's hearts, I guess.
We also talked to their significant others, Chelsea and Paul. So let's see what they had to say.
Paul, how did that make you feel? Did you ever feel threatened or anything about Micah and Kwame's relationship?
No, I really didn't. I feel that we were super open in the pods with each other and in the men's lounge. Like, we were very open, and I think it was obvious that we all had like very good intentions in that we wanted the best connection to be the one to move forward with, like, no matter who it was, And so it wasn't like a competition. It was like we genuinely both wanted the best connection.
Did you understand why they had such a close relationship coming out of the pods?
Oh my gosh, you have to understand it. You go on the show knowing that the person that you may be falling in love with, is talking to multiple other women. Mm-hmm. And that's something that is not for the faint of heart, for sure, but it's part of the experience. And it wasn't, in my nature to insert myself in their conversations and in their kind of closure and what needed to happen for them. Mm-hmm. I respected Kwame's journey and his vetting process, and he wanted to be really sure. And I have no hard feelings for her. The way I see it is, if somebody, likes the person I like, they must be like-minded and cool and awesome like me. That's the way I think about it. Of course, there were little moments with tequila and extra guacamole, and the sun was shining and the lights in Mexico and the cameras. I mean, it was a lot. But I think that we came to a really good conclusion with it. And I'm understanding that it needs to be a part of their journey.
Surprisingly, both okay with it. But like I said, they didn't watch the show when we talked to them. So who knows if opinions have changed.
Totally. I hope we talk to them again.
Definitely. All right. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Reality Recap, our Love is Blind special edition. Please let us know in the comments your thoughts about these relationships. Are Marshall and Jackie going to break up? Is Kwame going to leave Chelsea for Micah? So many questions. Please let us know what you guys think, and we'll see you next week. Bye. For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.